we would read verses in the Bible that talk about God's heart for the fatherless and how he cares ferociously for the oppressed and for the vulnerable and for children. And all throughout that time, the Lord was stirring in us. And so by the time that we were ready to grow our family, we walked into it really excited.
Yeah, and in a way, when you read those verses, like taking care of the fatherless and the oppressed, it's like, well, how do you do that? And one of the most practical ways for us was to foster and adopt. I got the call, and the first call was, how do you feel about twins? And I remember being like, well, I mean, we wanted siblings. And then, yeah, they're like, okay, we'll be at your house in an hour and a half. Yeah, a lot of times I didn't know how to pray because I don't want a family to fail, but also I realized that one of the main reasons you get to adopt through foster care is because a family fails. That is just like a strange world to be in.
It's constantly triggers for anxiety and situations that like force you to rely on the Lord and trust the Lord and his story that he's telling.
You know, every month it would change, but the constant shift was towards like, oh, it looked like that it was going to be pretty possible for us to get him. We both got up as a normal day, took care of the boys, and then drove to court.
You could hear the doors open and a scuffle of people walking out, and everybody's head was low. And then Costa just saying, all right, they want them to go. And I remember when we got home, the boys were napping and just giving my sister a hug and crying. And it was crazy because when they woke up, to them it was just a normal day. We knew that like every smile was potentially the last. I remember seeing through the dining room window the car pull up. James was sort of just, had no idea what was going on, and Jordan was crying. And when they left, like in that moment, that was forever. And we knew that we would never see them again. I couldn't hold anything against the Lord. Like I wished that I could have made him owe me and that he was wrong for doing this. But I knew that I didn't have anything to hold against him. I had actually, over the course of those 4 to 5 months, texted the boys' advocate multiple times to try to get an update, and it was pretty clear there was just not going to be any updates whatsoever on how the boys were doing. And then I was at work one day, and I saw that I had a text message from her. It just said, hey, the twins might be coming back into care. Do you have room for them?
And we're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have room for them.
Seeing the caseworker get out and unload them and these 2 little boys that are so familiar and yet look so different, and now they're coming up and into our home.
Hit restart on the whole process again.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, we're excited they're back in, but we don't know what's going to happen. Through like, you know, several mediations, court dates, visits and stuff, it became apparent that we would be able to get to adopt them.
The moment that the judge said that they were ours and for the first time called them by their new names was super sweet and also super surreal. We get to just have normal life. We get to just be a normal family.
Our ultimate hope for the boys would be that they would be strong men who lead well, who would love well, and never remember a day where they didn't know and love Jesus.